All right, so you're wondering, man, what is now a good time to buy? Maybe you have already tried selling or thinking about it. Well, guys, in today's video, you're not going to want to miss some of the trends that we're seeing today in the Denver real estate market that is absolutely going to impact you, whether you are a seller or a buyer. This is the channel you want to be on. We do these videos every week. Not only am I going to go over our weekly update article with you, but I'm also going to show you guys some hidden trends that we're starting to see completely go the opposite direction of historical norms. And we're also going to talk about the potential rate impact. And lastly, I'm going to update you on how my current listing of my personal rental is going in today's market. Ultimately, guys, we are going to set you up for success as a seller or buyer, and that's why we do these updates. So look, if you're with an agent, this is not a solicitation for business. Please, by all means, lean into your real estate agent. This video is for informational purposes. However, those of you who do need a high-level professional, reach out at the number down below, and let's dive in. I'm gonna welcome my article onto the stage here. Let me pull it up into this tab, and then we're gonna dive into the nitty-gritty of everything that is the Denver real estate market. And guys, this year has been a complete shift from what most people were expecting. And so it's important you guys jump on these videos, especially those of you actually looking to transact real estate, whether it's to buy or sell. And so with that, let's dive into the article. So inventory declined slightly. Guys, this is going to be the hidden shift that I'm talking about. And I'm actually going to show you a graph. And not only that, but I'm going to tell you why this is important, why you need to know about this stuff, and how it's actually impacting sellers in today's market. But the reality is inventory declined slightly over the last week, likely the result of a 1-2 punch. Weak new listing activity, meaning less listings are coming to the market, and lower interest rates pulling more buyers into the market. Price reductions have slowed over the past 2 weeks. Fewer homes have sold below asking. Buyer showings are seasonally exceptional, and contracts are modestly climbing. Complete left field for all of you who have been on my videos before. This is a complete left field, especially for those of you sellers. But there's more to this story. So let's keep going. It begs the question, have we hit a tipping point where the pent-up demand and falling rates are creating an unseasonal market shift? It's too soon to call. Really, guys, it's too soon to call. But the usual seasonal pattern could be getting thrown off by fewer sellers coming to market, inventory dropping earlier than normal. Hallelujah. That's a big one, and I'll tell you why. Interest rates starting to slide, buyers acting faster with more confidence. Still, a challenging market for sellers. Days on market climbed past 53 days on market last week. Homes continue to sell for roughly 5% below their original asking price, and buyers are on average negotiating an extra $7,000 in sellers' concessions for things like rate buydowns or repairs. But if buyer activity holds, interest rates stay stable or decline, and inventory remains in check, sellers could see more encouraging price stabilizing conditions heading into fall. Guys, let me just touch back on the seller concession right there real quick. I've seen upwards of $20,000 to $25,000 in concessions in today's market. So buyers, despite the thumbnail, now is an incredible time to buy, in the sense that you have more leverage than you have in the past 10 years. We're seeing sellers give bigger concessions than we've seen in the past 10 years. And ultimately, you guys, buyers, gals, everyone who's buying a home in the Denver real estate market, for the most part, it's a dang good time. Now, I will say I've got buyers out there, and there's these little pockets in the market, and only an agent like myself that's in the market on a day-to-day basis would know about these. But there are little pockets in the market that we're still seeing multiple offers on homes. One home had 18 offers, believe that or not. But guys, I will tell you that's a rarity. That is absolutely not the expectation. And for most buyers in most areas, you're going to get really, really good deals on real estate right now. Now, let's talk about inventory. Only once in Colorado's recorded history has let me start there again. Maybe we shouldn't do these live videos. I think they're kind of fun because they're raw and authentic. But here we go again. Inventory. Only once in Colorado's recorded history has housing inventory failed to peak in September or October. And that was in 2020. Now, for the very different reason, 2025 is shaping up to be the second year on record where inventory tops out earlier in the year. Bonkers, guys. We have a graph coming up. You're going to want to see this. In 2020, the average homeowner had an interest rate of well above 5%, far less equity, plummeting mortgage rates, a work from anywhere mindset, and home prices roughly 40% lower than today. In 2025, the picture is very different. Most sellers don't need to sell. The average homeowner now enjoys an interest rate of below 4%, substantial equity, and faces steeper costs of buying a replacement home, higher prices, and higher interest rates. While life changes like new baby, marriage, divorce, job moves, or death are still driving most transactions, a large percent of potential sellers weren't under pressure to sell this year. As a result, many approach listing their home this year as more of a market test. Let's list and see what happens. And when offers didn't come or didn't meet expectations, those sellers simply just took their house off the market. And so, guys, what this has led to is a pattern of early season inventory decline. It's not a massive drop, but it is unquestionably a stabilization. Last week, inventory declined from 13,000 homes, to 13,000 homes, down from a season high of 13,700 homes. And so you can see, literally since January, we've been on this huge upward trajectory of new homes hitting the market and becoming for sale. I was very fearful of the market, I wouldn't say crashing, but prices decreasing in a much more significant way than we had expected. Because you can see this blue line compared to the 2025 line. That is how much more inventory in 2025 there was in 2025 compared to 2024. Why that's alarming is look at the gap between 2023 and 2024. So like inventory was out of this world relative to the past couple of years. And when you have that much inventory, prices come down because buyer demand was not keeping up with that. But what we've seen in the last couple of weeks is inventory is on a downward trend. Usually you're seeing inventory peak closer to the week 37, week 39, as mentioned above, in September, October, before people start taking off their homes from the market. But that's just not the case. And we're seeing this new trend rise, which look at the previous years. You saw inventory go up. 2020, of course, it went down because the market was absolutely wild. Incredible interest rates. But even in 2021, when we were in a similar market, you saw inventory go up and it kind of peak around that September, October. Well, it looks like we might have hit the peak of inventory. And from my perspective, guys, that is a good thing. Because this gap right here means prices were going to go down, and they are going down. Currently, they have been coming down. And the reason I like to see inventory balance out here is because there's not going to be as big of hit, maybe, as expected for sellers. And I like that because I want my sellers to make more money. And I think there's a little bit of a balancing act to where sellers can take advantage of the market and buyers. And right now it's in the buyers' favor. So let's keep moving along. Buyer behavior. Inventory may be elevated, but it appears to have stabilized and buyers are showing up. Showing activity is now flirting with seasonal records, trailing only the frenzy of 2020 by a mere 0.7%, about 200 showings across the entire market. That is bonkers, guys. Let me show you I'll show you a better view of this here shortly, the weekly showings view. But what you could see is this kind of tan line is 2020. This brownish line is 2025, and we're touching the same data point for the most part of 2020 in terms of showing activity. So that means there are an incredible amount of showings happening in today's market, despite everything going on. And this sustained buyer activity is now translating into more decisiveness, though it's a patient, cautious, and deliberate decisiveness. Last week, 911 properties went under contract, making the fourth straight week of increased buyer action a massive positive sign for you sellers out there. But keeping the comparison to 2020 in mind, today's showings aren't converting to contracts at the same rate. In 2020, the number of weekly contracts was 58% higher than what we're seeing now. Okay, so we got to temper expectations a little bit there. The difference, back then, buyers faced lower home prices, a work from anywhere mindset, and the rapidly falling interest rates, conditions that fueled a pace we're not seeing in today's market. So while buyer activity remains strong, buyers are still in the driver's seat, patiently looking for great homes, dictating timing, terms, and price. Strategic selling. Even in a market with plenty of competition and buyers who are patient, selective, and sometimes demanding, nearly 30% of homes are still selling at or above their original asking price. Now, guys, I hate to be like the negative Nancy here, but alternatively, that means 70% of homes are selling below their asking price. So there's a little bit of a positive spin here. I tend to be an optimistic, positive guy, but like we gotta show you the reality. Yes, nearly 30% of homes are still seeing at or above their original asking price. Cool, but that means 70% aren't. Sellers, that one's for you. I just want to make sure you have proper expectations there. Takeaway is clear. Well-prepared, well-priced homes continue to have a strong shot at a solid outcome. And that is facts. The 30% are those who are preparing exceptionally well, pricing accurately to today's market, and have high-level marketing, professional photography, videography, and you combine all of those things, and those are typically the houses. The one thing you can't control that will absolutely make a difference here is location. But aside from that, if you do those things well, you're likely going to have a much better result in today's market than everyone else. And guys, you might think that's like that's an obvious, right? Of course, we're doing professional photography and videography and preparing the house and likely even staging, or at least doing the staging. That's not the case, guys. Let me tell you, almost every day when I search for homes, I see iPhone photos. I see photos of $1 million homes that would make you just go crazy. It's $1 million home and there's not professional photography. Are you kidding me? Guys, anytime our sellers work with us, and I just want to open the door and invite you guys to reach out if you're looking to sell your home. Buyers, of course, this goes for you too, but we have a standard of practice for every listing that we represent a seller on. And I'm not going to go over the whole list with you, but professional photography, professional videography, generally we're doing floor plans for every house. And not only that, but when I do a home analysis, we're spending 2+ hours on just pricing strategy. Not only that, we have my stager that is a mandatory for every one of my sellers to have my stager go through and do a listing consultation. And that staging consultation covers everything you need to do to get the house ready for sale. So I just want to encourage you guys, if you're looking to sell your home, or maybe you've tried and you've expired your listing and you're just pulling out your hair, guys, we got you covered. We want to be your partner in making sure we set you up for success to sell your house for the most amount of money possible in a really, really, really hard market. And so if you guys have the need, have questions, no obligation, reach out down below. We'd love to take care of you. Bottom line, the market isn't flipping overnight. Let me show you what I'm looking at here. Bottom line, market isn't flipping overnight, but subtle shifts are worth watching. Stable to declining inventory, lower rates, and steady buyer engagement could help sellers see more favorable conditions this fall. If those trends hold, for now, success still hinges on preparation, and patience, and a little bit of luck. Facts. All right, guys, I'm going to show you, I'm going to go over what I'm experiencing with listing my own property in today's market. There's so much there that I'm actually excited that I get to share with you guys. But let me just tell you this. The reason of like the pause is this market's fucking hard. Like it just is. Guys, we prepared our house exceptionally well. I feel like we definitely priced lower than we wanted to. Did we price like to sell it? No, we didn't. Yes, realtor, probably take your own advice. But like I feel like we priced decently well. And yeah, it's a tough market. I'll get more into that here shortly. But guys, the hidden trend that I told you I'd get to is that inventory is decreasing. Really, really, really good sign for you sellers, because that means there's less competition out there. Not only that, but we accompany that with higher buyer demand, more buyers entering the market. We had about 3 to 4 straight weeks of decreasing rates, relative decreasing rates, improvement in rates. It's subtle. There's not a big movement, but when you have mortgage rates going in the right direction, buyers are seeing that, and you wouldn't believe how quick buyers jump off the fence and get in the game. We're already seeing mortgage applications start to rise. And so you accompany lower inventory, buyers putting more homes under contracts, lower rates, and you get this kind of odd space in the market. And why I say odd is because, like, August, September, here's what happens with the market. It goes up from January until about July, mid-June, July, and then it starts coming down. Well, what we're seeing is the market cooling off, but we're seeing kind of a little bit of a resurgence here. And it's because of the things I just talked to you about. And so for you sellers, this is a really, 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 really positive sign. I was really worried, and I still am. I still have my reservations and concerns about the market. But there is certainly some hope for you sellers that I was much more pessimistic even a month ago. So with that, take it with a grain of salt. The market's still really hard for sellers. It is absolutely a buyer's market out there. It's really, really slow relative for most listings. And ultimately, guys, it just depends on where your listing lies, how well you prepared the property, how well you priced it. And if you guys are thinking about selling and want some guidance in that, reach out to me. But that's going to dictate your results in today's market more than the market at large. And so there's definitely things you can do about that. So that's the hidden trend, is inventory's coming down, which is a big surprise to everyone. Okay. Next up, why inventory drop is a game changer. We talked about potential impact to rates. Guys, I think I kind of covered it there. Potential impact to rates is, if rates come down, more buyers are going to get off the fence. They've been on the fence. They've been on the bench. They can't get into today's market. And so if we see rates decrease, that's going to, I wouldn't say open up the floodgates. I don't think we're close to that, but buyer activity is going to increase. It can't not. And so keep an eye out for rates. Sellers, really, really good opportunity there for you. There is some optimism that the Fed will decrease the Fed rate. Now, that doesn't translate to mortgage rates, but it's simply from a big picture point of view, a positive sign for mortgage rates to then follow. There's so much more to that, likely a whole nother video for me to kind of get into the micro and macro economics of things. But I want to end this video on my listing, what we're experiencing there. And that's going to be it for today. So my listing, we listed 31 days ago. We've had a total of 10 showings. Maybe not quite. I think we're right around that mark. Relatively competitive price point. I was optimistic and hopeful we'd sell by now, but we haven't. And I am feeling everything that you guys are feeling, for those of you who are out there selling homes, or potentially going to sell homes. Like, I already experience it with my own clients, but just having my own listing in today's market is a completely different experience, because I have to really grapple with the thought of, okay, do we make a price reduction, and how much is that? And I got to look at the bottom line, and like, is that going to make sense? And so it's a completely different perspective of the conversations I'm having with my clientele, which I appreciate, because it allows me to have more EQ going into those conversations. But more than that, it's shown me that my job as a partner and a high-level professional with my clients is more important than it has ever been. Because when you have a listing sitting there, you can start to kind of feel hopeless and stuck. And not having a high level professional to guide you through, hey, breathe. It's okay. Average days on market's 53. We've only been on the market for 30 days. We got time. Also, I've looked at the market because we do those weekly reports. For those of you who are new to the channel, anytime I have a client, we do weekly reports for all of our listings, and we're looking at the market as a whole, but we're also looking specifically in and around that area to determine, hey, how well are you positioned in today's market? And so, being able to have that partnership, I think, is so important. And what's interesting is I had to do it for myself, right? Like I had to do that report and look at the surrounding areas. And what I found is that we're so close, my listing, we're so close in price. And so now I'm grappling with, okay, how much of a price reduction is actually going to make a difference? And so there's a lot of analysis and a lot of time, energy, and effort that goes into post-listing. Like it's no longer okay to just put a sign in the yard, take great pictures, and be done, and just call the seller once we have an offer. Like as an agent, I'm communicating with my clients every single week. And you almost have to, because the market is reacting in different ways. And once you pick a price and you list the home, I feel one of the most impactful skill sets and things an agent can do is after the listing, after we put a sign in the yard and go through week 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 to be able to guide clients through that. And so that is somewhat of our specialty. And so guys, I make the invitation once more. If you guys have any question, no obligation. Obviously, if you have an agent, you're under an agency agreement, please consult with them. They are your high-level professional. But for those of you who aren't, call us down below at the number. I will also have my link to a Zoom call down below, along with my email contact information, so that you guys can reach out and we can have these conversations together. If you guys don't have any questions, this is a live video. By all means, throw a comment in there. But if you don't have one, or you comment on the replay, I will get back to you 100%. I will respond to your message. If you guys want to know, if you guys want me to cover any topics going forward, whether it's pre-foreclosures or foreclosures or short sales or anything like that, and pull data sets and really get into how that is impacting the market, I am happy to do so. Population growth and movement, all of those types of things I'm happy to cover. Drop it down in the comments so we can know what topics you guys are actually interested in. Otherwise, every Wednesday we will be back here doing market updates, supplying you guys with the right information for you to make smart real estate decisions in today's market. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful, insightful. Thank you so much for joining. We are growing this channel. We are here for a long time and a good time. And if you guys can do me a huge solid like and subscribe to the video so that we can grow this and get this out to more people who need this type of information, that would be more helpful than you know. Again, thank you guys for joining, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.